really cool trick to show you today. It's one that I kind of made up myself, but the same idea is from somewhere else. I don't really know where. But this is my version of this trick, and I'll tell you what it is in a second. So we could have the spectator choose any card in the deck. Let's just say it's this one, and I don't want to see it, but I can show you guys, so I'll look away. That's your card. Alright, I'm going to turn back around. And we're just going to take their card, place it on top. We'll have the spectator call out, stop right about there. And we're just going to give the deck a cut, just like this, alright? So, now their card's lost in the center, we could shuffle it up a little bit more, like this. I can hand it to the spectator, they can shuffle it up. Really doesn't matter. But watch. Snap my fingers, give the deck a little turn. And we see that a card turns face up. Now, I didn't say it was your card, it just said it was a card. It's the Ace of Spades. Now, the Ace of Spades, if you didn't already know, is a very magical card. And I'll tell you why in a second. Because this card is kind of like a joker. It's a secret third joker. Not a lot of people know this. But the reason why, because we can take this card, the Ace of Spades, and we could turn it into your card, the Nine of Clubs. And that's the trick, guys. I hope you like it. And now for the tutorial. Okay, guys, so for this trick, you're going to need a deck of cards. It doesn't have to be a full deck of cards, but you're going to need cards, obviously. You're going to need a table. This is a must-have. And you're also going to need a card. I just used the Ace of Spades, but you can use any card you want. But the reason why this card is special is because of this guy. Double-sided tape. Now, you could use regular tape and put it into a ball. That would work, but double-sided tape is easier because it's flat and it's less noticeable. Now what you're going to do is you can't really see it. I don't know if I get the glare. I think you can see it right there. There's actually tape on this card. I just put a little strip in the middle of it. And the reason why this is good for bicycle cards is because it's such a complex background that they don't really notice it. So you're going to start off with this card on the bottom of the deck, but face up. Now, you don't want to set this on the table because that's going to lose the stickiness, and you don't really want to put your fingers or your hand on it. So I usually just hold it like this. It's not really contacting the tape. Now you're just going to spread out the cards, but not to the point where they can see that card, okay? So you're just going to spread out the cards. You're just saying pick a card. You could also, do call out stop. It doesn't really matter. Any way you want to have them pick a card, as long as you don't flash that bottom card. So let's say they choose this one, and it's the Ace of Hearts, okay. So you wouldn't normally see this, but it's a tutorial, so you can see it. Now we have the Ace of Hearts. What you're going to do is you're just going to place it on top. You still don't know what it is. You're going to give the deck a cut, and you don't want to give it a sloppy cut like this. You want to keep it as squared up as possible. Now you want to practice this a little bit, so you could do it quick, like a perfect cut. That wasn't perfect, obviously, but that's the idea. Because, let's go to the Ace of Spades. You can kind of see that flap at the end. That wasn't really perfect. So you want to keep this as far away from the spectator as possible, but not so far away that it looks suspicious. But anyway, once it's in the middle, you're going to shuffle it up, but you don't want to, flash the face down card, right? You don't want to, actually, if you're going to shuffle it this way, you don't want to flash the face up card. This way, it should be fine. You could shuffle it up any way you want. But you do notice that there's a little gap. That's where the double-sided card is. Now, this is obviously a lot more noticeable because the Ace of Spades is bent, which it's not supposed to happen in the trick. But you will get this gap, so you don't really want to show that. So I would recommend shuffling at an angle, and then, giving it a few cuts. And then you could shuffle it up as much as you want. It is a little risky to hand it to the spectator because there's a chance they'll shuffle it like this and flash that ace. But anyway, you're going to say, now look, I snap my fingers. I'll move this out of the way, actually. And we see a card turns face up. Now, if you didn't, cut it perfectly, you don't want to leave this too long because they're going to see that little open flap. It's kind of hard to see on camera, I think. But in person, the little extra flap at the end is kind of noticeable. But if you did a perfect cut, don't worry about it. So if the cards are lined up. And you're going to say, now, we have a card turned face up. I didn't say it was your card. I just said it's a card. You're going to move this card to the top. And you're going to say, now this card is very, very magical. It's the Ace of Spades, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to cut the deck, set half of it down, put the other half in your hand like this, okay? And this, you'll see why in a second. Because when you toss the card, their card's on the back, taped. And you're just literally turning over their card as you toss through. Now this isn't a very big camera range, so this trick is not the best for recording. But in person it's really cool, so it'll look like that roughly. As soon as the card is like right here, you're going to turn it over. Now you can turn it over any way you want, just don't turn your wrist. Just turn your fingers. So it'll look something like this. Like my wrist didn't move as much, just kind of my fingers. Now there's a couple ways to turn it over. There's this way where you're just kind of moving your fingers like this across the card. There's another way where you just kind of hold it with your thumb and index finger, and your middle finger makes that card spin as you let go with your thumb. Or you can literally just, turn it around. So I hold it like this. You can hold it any way you want, but I just kind of do that. I kind of flick it and make it turn. But this packet is to cover you turning over the card, so it kind of looks like it changes, in an instant. So that's all you're going to do. You're going to say, so we're going to take this card, and it turns into your card, and that's the trick. Now, the thing is, you're not left clean. If they want to examine this card, you have this on the back. But if you let it go, if you kind of tear it apart, or tear the tape off, the ace of spades is left on top of the deck, you can lose it in the middle, and it's face down. But the problem is when you tear it apart, it makes that sound, and they're going to hear that sound. So what you could do is, somehow push it off like this, like that would do it, but you can want to keep it, you don't want them to see that. Or you can just tear it off, and you can, just talk loud or just make noise just to cover it up. And that's only if they want to examine the card. Because, like, I want to see the card. You're like, you want to see it? Okay, sure. Now, you still heard that, probably. At least I heard it. And the tape will usually not be on their card. It'll usually be on the ace of spades. And, yeah, that's pretty much the trick. Hope you like it, and see you soon.